Thumbcoast TV and WGRT bring you St. Clair County at the Mackinac Policy Conference. Sponsored by the Community Foundation of St. Clair County, Michigan Mutual, and Eastern Michigan Bank.
I'm Michael Hensley with Thumbcoast TV here on Mackinac Island at the Policy Conference. With me is James Freed, City Manager of Port Huron. James, we're all here in full force to show our collaboration and our work together to address some of the big things that are really a hot topic in St. Clair County and across the state. One of those is housing. What is the City of Port Huron doing to address housing, in particular with workforce housing, senior housing, and affordable housing?
Well, first, you're right. We're all here, and it may look like we're at a beautiful backdrop and a junket, but the truth is that we have not only the policymakers from across the state of Michigan are here, but also developers and private enterprise are here. Here we can walk down the street and literally meet developer after developer who builds housing, who builds the density housing that we need. In the city of Port Huron, we have a multifaceted approach. There's no silver bullet. It's kind of like a all-the-above approach. First and foremost, we want to make sure that we have a climate that attracts new investors and developers into town. We believe we have that. We have safe streets. We have economics that makes sense. We have a low unemployment rate, high need for workers. We have a worker shortage. A lot of that is because of the housing shortage. Also, one of the things we're working on is zoning. How do we rezone and look at our zoning to make sure it's conducive for new developments and density housing? We need more density. We need mid and high-rise developments within our city. We've had a couple of them. We announced the Wrigley Center at $16 million. We just announced the Erie and Lincoln Lofts at $17 million with a partnership from the state of Michigan. We also announced a new project that's going to be coming down towards the farmers market. All of these require the public-private partnerships, working with the state of Michigan and private developers in the city to make sure zoning's conducive, the funding mechanism in there, and the demand's there. So it's really the all of the above, but it's like a great game of musical chairs. So we have a lot of folks who are in homes who maybe want to downsize to a condo that doesn't exist yet or an apartment that doesn't exist yet. We'll have the young people who are in units that they could afford something a little bit nicer, but there is nothing nicer available. Also, we want to make sure the equity aspect of it. I want to make sure that we're a community that if you live and work downtown, you should be able to afford to live downtown. Mm-hmm. And to do that, we want to make sure we onboard a lot of workforce housing. We work with the community development partners out of Macomb. They're doing the $17 million Lincoln Lofts. That's going to have about 30 units that are designated for workforce housing. That's really important, and the blended with market rate and affordable is very important. Oh, there we go. Pure Mackinac moment. We're doing the all-the-above approach, but today is really making the contacts with developers who do a lot of work in Macomb and Wayne and Oakland, who otherwise maybe don't know about Port Huron 40 minutes away. And so we can shake their hands, get them a business card and say, hey, can I come have a cup of coffee with you? Can I email you a developer packet? Because we have these developer packets that promote the city. Let us send you a developer packet. We want to put Port Huron on your radar. We got $16.5 million in tax credit funding to the state of Michigan last year for the Lincoln Lofts. We met them here 2 years ago. That's how that connection was made. So when people ask, why are you on Mackinac Island? Why are you here glad handing? It's because we're making these connections that bring real money and real opportunity back to Port Huron. That's why it's so important. I think it's amazing that we have the Community Foundation, you have the schools, you have private enterprise. We literally have a whole army from Port Huron here collectively selling our community, and they take notice. People take notice in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head with public-private partnerships, and it's groups like these, when we show up in full force, it just gives the great message that that kind of stuff is welcome.
Well, it's sending the message that this is a need, and if you come to Port Huron, we're all going to help you make it successful.
Yes.
And I think that sets us apart. And the people ask, what is your comparative advantage? Our comparative advantage in St. Clair County and in Port Huron is collaboration.
Thank you, James.
Good seeing you.
And thank you for tuning in.
To hear more from this conversation, visit thumbcoast.tv.